Hi, I'm Mary Jane Stone, and today for our Art and Nature project, we are going to talk about great horned owls, and we're all going to make a great horned owl sculpture. So the first thing you need to do is grab your adult, get a parent or an adult in your house to work on this project with you. It'll help you a lot, and it's more fun to make things with another person. Hi friends, today we are going to make our sculptures of the great horned owl, a wonderful, wonderful bird, the tiger of the night. And this is a bird that lives near all our homes. To get started, we are going to make our own clay. Now if you have clay, of course you can use clay if you have it at home, but a lot of people don't keep clay at home. So we are going to make some washable, non-toxic clay of our own. It's very easy and it's kind of fun. So to get started making our clay, we are going to need about 1 cup of plain flour. You don't have to be too exact with these measurements. A cup of plain flour, and then you need about a 1/4 cup, that's just 1/4 of a whole cup, a 1/4 cup of table salt. These are things that everyone has at home. About a 1/4 cup of table salt, maybe a little more. And make sure that my sleeves are rolled up because I'm going to mix all this together with my hands. And then I'm going to need about a 1/4 cup of water. And I'm going to very slowly mix this in, really as if I were making biscuits or shortbread, because I want just enough water to wet this flour and blend it together with the salt. Make sure it's well blended. I don't want to get it too wet. But you know, if I did get it too wet, I could just add in a little more flour and salt. A tiny bit, maybe a teaspoonful of cooking oil, which will finally help it all stick together. I want it to feel like Play-Doh. All right, now, in that short amount of time, I have some really nice homemade modeling clay. We know that all birds hatch from an egg. I'm going to make an egg shape. You might have enough clay here to make several owls, or you could make some other kind of a bird later on if you wanted to. But I'm going to make myself a nice, tall egg shape. And the first thing we notice about a great horned owl is that it's called a great horned owl. And of course, owls don't really have horns, but they have ear tufts at the top of their heads. It's really a very specialized, tufted kind of feather that looks like horns, but it really is an arrangement of feathers that helps the owl collect sound. Remember, these owls hunt at night. So we've got our owl. He's beginning to take on his horn shape. Now owls, because they see at night, have very big eyes. 2 little circles. Maybe make your circles about as big around as a dime. They don't have to be too big. That might be a little bit big. And we want them to be kind of flat. Owls have a big arrangement of feathers that helps them also helps them collect sound. I'm going to stick those eye discs. I'll use a teeny bit, just a fingertip of water. Use that water for glue. And I'm going to stick those eye discs onto my owl. Stick them on good and tight. Now another thing that owls have, because they are predators, they are the tigers of the night. Their bill is a very strong triangle shape. The beak of an owl is a very strong triangle. So you want to make a triangle shape that's good and strong so that our owls can get plenty to eat and plenty to feed their babies. When I get that good triangle shape, I'm going to stick it on to the owl face with a little bit of water. Now this little owl has eye disc, but he still doesn't have any eyes. So I think the next thing I need to do for my owl is make 2 little completely round balls. Not too big, about as big as a sort of a bead, I guess, or maybe as big as a Skittle. And I'm going to take those circles, those balls, it's a ball shape, and I'm going to take that ball shape and I'm going to stick it with a little water. I'm going to stick it right into the middle of that eye disc because owls have very good eyesight. So now my owl has eye disc and he has eyes. He's still missing something important for a bird. That's right, he needs wings. So I'm going to make 2 triangle shapes for his wings. I can press them onto my work surface. Horned owls have a huge wingspan. Their wingspan is longer than you are tall. Their wings stretch out this far. So now that I've got wings for my little owl, I'm going to use some water again for glue, not too much, and I can stick my wings onto the back of my owl, really onto his sides, but the wings will extend to the back. Owls have big, powerful wings. I'm going to stick his wings on. He's starting to look like an owl, isn't he? Owls have kind of short tails. They don't need very long tails, but they need a powerful tail. So I'm going to stick a little tail onto the end of my owl. And the last thing I want to stick onto my owl, which is really important, is some feet. And to make the owl's toes or talons, owls have powerful claws. They're really about as big as my hand, some of them. I'm going to roll out some long snakes. I'm going to roll out some long, thin snakes. And owls, unlike people, owls have 3 toes forward. So I'm going to need to show on the front of my owl, I will need 6. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 toes for the front of one foot. 1, 2, 3 toes for his other foot. And then I can just take those toes and stick them, maybe use a little water to stick those toes on to the front of this owl so that she can use those powerful talons to catch some food for her children. In the wintertime, if you're outside late at night or early in the morning, you might hear this great horned owl calling. And they have a very distinctive, wonderful call. It sort of goes, hoo, 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 hoo. And the way you can remember that is that it sounds like she's saying, who's awake? Me too. Who's awake? Me too. Hoo, 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 hoo. Now, I've got all of her toes, but what she's missing is what we call in sculpture texture. So we are going to use texture to give our owl some details. And first of all, I think we need to give some pupils on her eyes, and I can do that using a pencil. And then if I use a popsicle stick, or you could use the pencil again, I'm going to make some feather shapes. I think I like that pencil better. So be creative about using textures on your owl. So there, friends, We've made a little owl sculpture. It should last a long time. With an adult to help you, you could dry it in the oven or just let it air dry for a long time. And then, if you wanted to, we could paint colors onto it. Hoo, 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 hoo. Who's awake? Me too.